Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Thursday, July 22nd, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. One thing to notice, very narrow overnight range right now, just 13.75 points of pre-market and overnight range. Much of that happening here in the last hour and a half. And overall, it's right in tune with what tends to happen after these big moves. If you just look right back here, it's almost identical as what we've saw here before. A holding day, another digestive day after a continuation from this low. Tremendous bounce back, now holding at these highs within a narrow range. That could provide additional energy for another continuation higher in the day to come. What we mentioned before was any pullback today as deep as the previous session's midpoint could be an opportunity to defend for bulls, the midpoint being 43.32s. Any pullback into that zone could provide a little bit of a bounce later on today. But again, even if we close today very quietly, it could provide an opportunity for more strength in the session to come. We take a look at the NQ, very similar price action. This one trading 25% of average range as well, just 52.5 points, very narrow range at these highs. Again, this is a sharp turnaround that we've seen off the lows over the last few days, very similar to any of these turnarounds we've had, and now we're holding kind of at the highs here ahead of the next potential move higher. Again, very similar to the ES. If we were to pull back here, a pullback into the 8-period PIMA or the previous session's midpoint could provide a decent opportunity there. That's 756. The midpoint of the previous session is 753. So anywhere in the 750s could be an opportunity for bulls to defend today for a bounce back up toward the highs. Ultimately, we're looking for a continuation to new highs here over the next several days until proven otherwise. If we take a look here at crude oil, you'll see that crude oil here, a tremendous move in the previous session. A significant sell-off on one day, a tremendous rally 2 days later. Got kind of bookend holds at the edges here. One thing we mentioned yesterday was the key range here. That key range 75.52 with the key range low of 65s suggested a bounce to 70.27, and we got it in 1 day. That usually would be a 1 to 3 day move. We got it in 1 day. That shows you how tremendous the strength was in the previous session. And in getting that key range, we now have our new key range levels and targets. 75.52 the high, 70.27 the mid, and 65.02 the low. Those are, or 65.01, those are the key levels to watch. And if we do see major expansion outside the range, it could point as high as 86s up above. So here's 86, that's the 100% extension right there from this key range. We could ultimately break and continue higher to 86s down the road. The downside 100% target would be 54.50. Does it get that deep? We don't know yet. But as we know with these key range levels, the bottom of the key range would be very important. We could trade in here, come down here, and trap between 62.5 and 65, and then turn it back up to the top of the key range and ultimately across the key range. So it could be a very significant continuation ahead, and now that we have these key range levels. If we take a look here at gold here doing just enough to hold the 1790 key level. Today's low 1791.90. That's the LVN. You can see the major resistance here. It reclaimed that support level, then made it support on a number of occasions. It's doing just enough to hang in there. If it can continue to hold 1790, we have a shot to continue to trade within 1790 to 1835 before perhaps continuing higher. But if we fail to hold that 1790 on a daily closing basis, it could end up being a big stop run day down. It breaks down, and now we're hunting for lower lows here. So again, right now this market's teetering on the edge of market structure, hanging in there barely at the 1790 zone. If it can continue to hold that, we have more sideways to up. Failure to hold that opens up new lows ahead. All right, that is it for now. We'll see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.